I'm Bruce Swanson, President of the Aberdeen Art Society. Welcome to our online gallery, where we're hosting the online Coming Home exhibition. That the Aberdeen Art Society has been able to stage this exhibition in these difficult times is something of a miracle. To have turned it from the original, now unfortunately cancelled show in the Aberdeen Art Gallery into a world-class online show in less than 2 months is an incredible achievement. Aberdeen's Artist Society has been delighted by the response from artists both locally and internationally to our call for works. We asked for recent works, and many of those entered for exhibition were either completed just before or during the recent global lockdown. The number and quality of the works on show is testament to the resilience and skill of the artists involved, and it's tremendous that they've been able to create works of such strength and vitality under the present conditions. And I would like to thank them all for taking part. I believe Aberdeen Artist Society has delivered the social good we set out to achieve. We had originally planned to put on a physical show to exhibit works by 100 or so artists to Aberdeen, and instead we've made an online exhibition space for over 300 artists and presented these in an attractive and imaginative way so that the world can see their work and make contact with them. A tremendous achievement. Considering that we're a group of volunteers working in the circumstances of a pandemic and lockdown that none of us could have foreseen at the start of this project, what we've achieved is amazing. It demonstrates what a group of like-minded, purposeful people can achieve, and it's truly an example of how groups such as Aberdeen Artist Society can transcend the individual and deliver something much more than the sum of its parts. I'd very much like to thank all those involved in the various committees, working groups and hard-working individuals who've made this happen. Back when we started planning this exhibition, one of the first things we did was to invite a speaker to open the event, and I'm delighted to say that Dr. Joyce Cairns, President of the Royal Scottish Academy and a former President of Aberdeen Artist Society, accepted the role with great enthusiasm. She's continued her support for us during lockdown, and while I'm very sad not to introduce her and celebrate the exhibition opening in person, I'm both honoured and delighted that she's recorded the following opening words. Thank you, Joyce.
Welcome, everybody. I would like to thank Dr. Bruce Swanson, President of the Aberdeen Artist Society, for his kind invitation to open Coming Home, which was intended to be held in the wonderful, newly refurbished and world-class Aberdeen Art Gallery. The Aberdeen Artists' annual exhibition, Coming Home to the Gallery after an absence of 6 years, was to be a truly special occasion. Sadly, due to the pandemic, many planned events, including the Royal Scottish Academy's annual exhibition, had to go online. But at least you had some time to plan for this, unlike the RSA, who were shut down as we were about to hang the exhibition, and the actual work remains unselected and unhung, entombed in the RSA galleries in Edinburgh. We have to be positive about this unprecedented change to our way of doing things and see it as an opportunity to reach a wider global audience. It is a way of being more inclusive, thus enabling more artists to be selected and providing them with a showcase to display their work. There is always a limit to the number of works that can be hung in a normal gallery exhibition, so this does make a huge difference, as on display on the website are 575 artworks as opposed to well under 200. In 1985, I was elected the first female president of the Society, and in 2018 the first female president of the Royal Scottish Academy in 192 years. I must stop making a habit of this, as I ask myself, what qualifications do I have for this position? And the answer is none, apart from being an artist. Perhaps my various student holiday jobs, working in hospitality as waitress, chambermaid, canteen assistant and barmaid, have equipped me for this position better than I imagined. Looking briefly at the history of the Aberdeen Artist Society, in 1827, a small group of Aberdeen artists led by James Giles got together to organise a first exhibition. This was perhaps influenced by a similar venture to form a Royal Scottish Academy in Edinburgh the previous year. However, it was not until 50 years later that the first of the Aberdeen artists' exhibitions was held alongside the opening ceremony of Aberdeen Art Gallery in 1885. Over the years, the Society's annual exhibition has attracted entries from all over Britain and beyond, such as Stanley Spencer, Paul Nash and Christopher Nevison. When Ian Fleming was principal of Gray's School of Art, there was a much bigger staff involvement, and along with Peacock printmakers established by Arthur Watson in 1973, They both contributed much to the running of the Society. The next 25 years was a very vibrant period for artists in Aberdeen. When I returned to Aberdeen as a new member of staff in Grays in 1976 after studying in London, it was a rite of passage to become involved, and I can remember being taken along to my first private view by Francis Walker in 1977. At that time, it was a social highlight of the Aberdeen calendar, and Francis introduced me to Dorothy Johnson, the grand dame of Aberdeen artist aristocracy. She held court on one of the banquettes up in the middle gallery upstairs. She was astonishing, a relic of a bygone age, in a black satin evening gown, with her hair in coils around her ears like earphones. And I'm sure she also had a hearing trumpet as well. Other abiding memories were the occasional heated arguments, fueled by a generous supply of alcohol, which would result in one of the protagonists being escorted out the opening by Davy Taylor, the chief gallery attendant. In 1980, Shell Expo UK started a long period of sponsoring the Society's exhibitions, which allowed it to be much more ambitious. The generous prize money attracted many established and well-known artists to exhibit bigger and more ambitious works. Shell also paid for the fees and expenses of major artists to come up and judge a competition, and during my tenure as president, we had the dashing John Hoyland, Paul Niago and Prunella Clough, as some of them. I think there was another few as well. Well, here we are today, after what I believe were a very difficult 6 years for the Society, but now back on form to start a new chapter in their 86-year-old history, albeit as a digital presence. This is likely to be the way of things for some time to come, even once we're back in a new normal, whatever that might be. I must applaud the President, Bruce Swanson, Donnie Ross and the Council for having come up with such an original, unexpected and eye-catching manner of presenting the online exhibition. Using the idea of rooms with evocative and thought-provoking titles to display different groups of work will surely provoke interest. The artist's work statements will also inform viewers who often leave exhibitions utterly mystified by what they've seen. On a sadder note, there is also a memorial room for Sandy Fraser, RSA, who died in March this year, aged 79, after a very long and debilitating illness. Sandy was a highly regarded, distinguished and poetic painter, an extraordinary draftsman, and an inspirational head of painting at Grays School of Art. He will be remembered by many of the exhibitors in this show for his insightful and direct advice about their work, and his disdainful look at their mucky, disorganised palettes. He will be sorely missed by us all, but his memory lives on in his many wonderful works. I was going to mention a few of the works that caught my eye, but actually there are far too many to do so. So I would therefore like to congratulate you on the quality and originality of all the work on display. There are also, for me, many familiar names amongst the exhibitors, some of whom I had the pleasure of teaching at Grays. Also exhibiting are two recent major RSA award winners, Samantha Cheevers and Susanna Salomon, both graduates of Grays School of Art. There are many fine works on display in this exhibition, and everyone should leave the site with a desire to be creative, and I hope a burning desire to own one of the very reasonably priced works on show. Thank you for your time.
All this wouldn't have been possible without everyone on the Aberdeen Artists Society Council, and I'd like to thank them all for their contributions to the project. Special thanks to Donnie Ross and Andy Laffan at InTech for their hard work developing the site. Thanks also to the Handling Committee, Donnie Ross, Susie Hunt, Andy Dewar, Sheila Brown, Rusudana Glonti, Martin Stevenson, Jenny Ross, Jerry Stott for their diligence and inventiveness. Thanks also to Andy Dewar and Martin Stevenson for masterminding the press campaign. And I'd like to also thank Tricia for her brilliant and very understated IT support, Jenny for her social media and secretarial skills, and apologies to anyone I've missed out about this. Finally, I'd like to thank Deirdre Grant and the exhibitions team at the Aberdeen Art Gallery and Museums for their support, and I look forward to working with them again in the future. My last thanks is reserved for Joyce Cairns for her kind words and firm support of the Society. Thank you, Joyce.